What's up YouTube, it's Azure Eruption here, back again with another deck profile, and this time it's an update on my Empress of Prophecy build. And basically I made a few changes to the deck, and the deck is just a lot more. One sec, let me move the mic a bit closer. Yep, so basically the deck is a lot more consistent than it was before. It's a lot faster and it's a lot more explosive than it's ever been. So as I go through the deck, I'm just going to sort of go over the cards which are new and the edits and changes which I've made, and I won't so much go into the cards which I had there previously. So I still have a 3 Estelle, the 3 Oracle, and a 3 Spellbook Magician. I have the 1 Gargagar Magician now, and the 2 Strength of Prophecy. Sorry about the way I pronounce Gargagar Magician. But yeah, I'm running Gargagar Magician because I'm still running the 1 Gauze, and I can make a Big Eye very easily, and it's a really good target to bring out with Summoner Monk, and it's a lot easier to control and get to a level 5 than Strength. And I'm still running for 2 Strength because Strength is just such a good standalone card. It's easily a 2k beta, it recycles by spellbooks as well, and it's easily a level 5. It's just that Gargagar Magician, in terms of being a level 5, is a bit more consistent because it doesn't rely on other cards. And I've added the 2 Summoner Monks. The Summoner Monks are here to get out their spells for my deck. Uh, sorry, my throat is just really dry. I've gone over like doing this deck profile like 15 times already just because my throat keeps cracking up. But yeah, I'm running the 2 Summoner Monks to get out the spells for my deck, and also to get out Gargagar Magician sometimes if I have a Gauze on the field. And it makes use out of the dead cards, the dead spell cards which I could potentially have, and it's just extremely plus if I go for that play and then I Wonder Wand off the Summoner Monk afterwards. And I still have the 2 Trag and the 1 Gauze. The Gauze is still here because it's even more live in this deck because I have more ways to use it with Gargagar Magician. Still with the Trinity, the Dark Hole, the Heavy, the Reborn. Still 2 Instant Fusion. I wouldn't run a third because of a life point cost, and I could only use it once per turn. 1 of the Grand Spellbook Tower. I was actually tested without this, but the thing is, my first turn play is normally Spellbook Magician and Wonder Wand, so I'm left with 7 cards in my hand, and if I don't have the MST, I don't really have anything that I want to set, so I added the Grand Spellbook Tower just to help out with those spots, and most of the time it's MST bait for my opponent, but I don't really care too much because if I have 7 cards, then this is basically a free card, so if my opponent MSTs it, it's a 1 for 1, so effectively it's like they've sort of gone minus. And I really don't mind at all because this deck has a lot of draw power without the Grand Spellbook Tower, and it's consistent enough without it. I really could cut the Grand Spellbook Tower out of this deck, but I still want it just for that first turn opening play. But besides that, in fact, included that, my Spellbook engine is exactly the same as it was before. Still the 10 Spellbooks and the 3 Spellbook Magician. Still with the 3 MST to clear those annoying back rows like Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment, and Torrentials. Any cards that are really capable of just like effing up your play. Still with the 3 Wonder Wand, these cards just add a lot of consistency, a lot of draw power to the deck. And they make you plus even harder when you go for your plays. It's never dead because you could use it with Spellbook Magician, you could use it with Oracle, you could use it with Summoner Monk. Even if like you open up with multiple, you could just go like Instant Fusion, bring out a Magician King, then go Wonder Wand and draw for your deck. So this is just really like it's never dead basically in this deck. And sometimes I've just gone it and I'll be like, oh, I've got Wonder Wand, I've already got 7 cards in my hand. What am I going to do? By the time I get to the end phase, I'm going to have like 9 cards in my hand, or 10 cards if I'm plusing the Spellbook Magician. And I've really been in those spots where I've just had an overflow in hand, and in those spots I've just gone for my plays. And even if my opponent's negated me and I've got minus, I've still had like 7 cards in my hand. It's really ridiculous. This deck has got a lot of potential, and I could easily see it being like, well, I think this deck could potentially be better than the Priestess variant, and the Priestess variant, in my opinion, is like tier 1.5-ish. So this deck could potentially really be like tier 1.5-ish. Maybe I dare to say it could be tier 1. Potentially, I mean, it really is that consistent because I am running the 2-part duality, which brings the deck down to 38 cards. For 3 Wonder Wand brings it down to 35 cards. For Wonder Wand targets are basically blank cards because Wonder Wand is a draw 2. So basically, the deck is brought down to 32 cards. So you can imagine how consistent a 32 card deck is. So yeah, the 2 duality, I was running just 1 duality, but the thing about duality was that I could always discard it with Summoner Monk if I didn't want to use it, so I felt like I could just get away with running 2. and also it helps me find Estelles, it helps me find Summoner Monks, it helps me find those Wonder-Ones and Spellbook Magicians for my first 10 plays. So I feel like running the two, and the deck is a perfect 40 card deck, so it's like, you know, um, I feel like the deck is really optimal with the two duality to bring up to 40 cards. For the extra, I'm still running the two Musician King for the two instant fusions, one Adrius, one Costello Pleiades. This is actually a rank 5 which I added. It's a bit situational, but I can make this with instant fusion and Oracle of the Sun. And this card is just such an annoying card to deal with. This is sort of the reason why Costellos are good. Like this one card, it's just a compulsion on either player's turn, and it can hit back row as well. It seems like, oh, it's just like not so good. This card is freaking amazing. It's freaking annoying for your opponent to deal with as well, because they basically can't go for an exceed because you'll bounce it back. Unless it's an exceed that effect activates when it's summoned. Same with like synchros, unless it's like a black rose that activates when it's summoned. They're just gonna go minus. They can't like set one go. You just bounce it back to your hand, go for another play. So Costello Pleiades is extremely annoying for your opponent to deal with, because it's got a bit of that stun factor, but it's also very, very control based, and it's still 2500 beta as well, which is insane. Um, After that, I'm still running the one Empress, the one Crimson Shadow. If it's between running two and two Tyrus, I'm always going to pick the two Tyrus over the two Crimson Shadow, just because Tyrus, in my opinion, is best rank 5. One Volcasaurus, similar to Crimson Shadow. Two Tyrus, I said it before, I think it's the best rank 5, or at least the best generic rank 5. One Zenmayo for hitting up those back row and those set Rikos and stuff like that, and Slemon Eaters. One Big Eye is really live in this deck, as I mentioned before. If I have a Gauze or a Gauze in my graveyard and a Trag on the field, and I have a Summoner Monk, I could basically make Big Eye. One Gaia Dragon, really broken. Obviously, it lets me go for that final push. It really punishes my opponent for like playing stall monsters like Marshmallow and Spirit Reaper. One Gachi for the Spellbook Magicians, one Utopia and one Maestroke for the Summoner Monk. So that's the updated deck, guys. I think the deck is really, really, really good. Test out if you can. Like the video if you actually like the video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe if you haven't. And this is Eruption signing out, and I hope you have a nice day.